Today, it's all about the Alpha 1 signature crossover, and there's way more to it than a fancy looking box. Welcome back, Dylan here. Hopefully by now you've seen our Alpha 1 Signature Edition videos, installs, overviews, and more. Today we're going to be focusing on just the crossover. All of our speakers are plug and play and drop into factory locations, and while our crossovers are still plug and play, these give you the most freedom, and sometimes no freedom, when it comes to where to install them. As this is the most variable piece of equipment in the Signature lineup, we figured this should get its own video. First off, what is a crossover? In the most basic terms, it divides audio frequencies and sends the correct frequencies to the correct speaker. In the case of our signature crossover in a BMW, it sends the middle frequencies to the S40 or S45 mid-range speakers, as well as the mid-driver in the S45C speaker, and the high frequencies to the S10 tweeter or the high driver of the S45C speaker. To make sure everything gets plugged in correctly, it's all labeled. In is where the feed from the amp will go. TW out is where the tweeter gets plugged in. Now this could be the tweeter cable itself or the factory extension. And mid out is where the mid-range speaker gets plugged into. If you're installing the S45C coaxial speaker in your BMW, such as in an X1 that didn't come with factory tweeters, you're gonna get a crossover that looks the same, but it does have a unique plug on it. While mid-out is still the same and will plug into either port here on the S45C speaker, TW out has a unique connector, as well as there being a unique port in the side of the S45C, which is where TW out will go. In, of course, is the same, and that will still take the lead from the factory amp. Now, the reason for the unique connector on the crossover and the unique corresponding port on the speaker itself is so that way you don't accidentally get it mixed up and plug it into either of the ports here. When it comes to mounting them, we give you options to make things as easy as possible. With each crossover, you'll get a thicker double-sided foam tape, a 3M style thinner double-sided tape, and a piece of heat shrink. The foam tape is ideal in most situations as it secures the crossover to uneven surfaces. The thinner tape is best when you have a flat surface to work with. The heat shrink is key when you need to remove the crossover from its housing. Yep, there are some cases where space is at a premium and these crossovers will not fit without modification, but thankfully, we've designed the cases on the crossovers to be removable. To do that, we're first gonna remove the outer case here, and we're gonna do that with one of our trim tools. Just insert the trim tool in to these slots here, and same on this side. And bam, the top cover is off. Removing the actual components from the bottom part of the case takes a little bit more finesse, and you do want to be careful that you don't damage any of these components here because, well, that would be bad. For this, I'm going to be using a pick tool to get between the circuit board and the case, so just be careful. There is a tab here, 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 and here. And you want to insert the pick tool between the body and the circuit board and pry it free. Again, be very careful because you don't want to damage anything. Now I'm actually inserting the pick tool pretty much underneath where the tabs were that I removed the upper cover from. And then once you pop it free from those tabs, voila. Now, once you do have the internal crossover components out, you can't install it like this. There's too much of a risk of something getting snagged on one of the capacitors and shorting the system out, and well, you don't want that. So that is where the heat shrink comes in. Now, to show you that, here's a clip of Jarrett installing the heat shrink. Frankly, he did such a good job, so why try to replicate that? What you'll do is slide the heat shrink over the entire crossover section and then use a heat gun to shrink the heat shrink. Just be careful you don't hold the heat gun too close, as you don't want to damage any of the circuitry inside, and just keep moving it around until the heat shrink is nice and tight. And that's it. Now it can be installed. Now it is important to know that even though the case is missing, it still gets plugged in the same. Amp goes to in, TW out goes to the tweeter or factory tweeter extension cable, and mid out goes to the mid. So there you have it. Those are the ins and outs, literally, of the Alpha One Signature Edition crossover. If you want to learn more about the Alpha One Original and Signature Edition speakers, as well as our line of amps for BMWs, Minis, Supers, and Teslas, we encourage you to head on over to our site or check out some of the other videos on our channel. Have any more questions about the crossover or Alpha One equipment in general? Have your VIN ready and reach out to our sales team via chat on our site or by calling. Already have the crossover and have any more questions about the install or anything else, you can reach out to our support team with your order number and they will be eager to assist. But as always, for more tips and tricks, product reviews, and so much more for BMWs, Minis, Supers, and Teslas, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell. Want to know what's happening first? Head on over to our site and sign up for our newsletter. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Thanks for watching.